Hello everyone, my name is Trevor, I go by TheMrTrails, welcome to the channel. This is going to be the last video of 2020, so I decided I would tag this along at the end of it. This second part of the video is going to be a bit of a reflective piece on how I went from a fairly dead YouTube channel with 300 subscribers to 3,500 now in only a few months, which has led to me becoming a Dauntless partner, which in some ways has become a life-changing experience. So let's begin with where I was about a year ago at this time. I had just completed my final courses for my degree in sports management, and through my current position during our off season, I was working only once a day every week or two with the Detroit Lions. And I really didn't care to be doing much else at the time, so I mainly just stayed at home playing Fortnite, Skyrim, and the Outer Worlds. Around February and March was when I decided that I would probably want another position somewhere to start saving up a bit of money, so I got a job at a bar downtown where I was living. And as soon as I went to start that job, that's when the big things started happening. So literally after a single day of working there, I no longer worked there. But I didn't really suffer any immediate changes to my lifestyle, as sitting inside playing video games all day is what a lot of people ended up doing. The one thing that did change was I returned to playing a game that I had played previously, just not played in a while. This is something that the YouTube audience probably wouldn't know, but my dad was the main reason that I started playing Dauntless again. My dad wanted a cross-platform game that we would be able to play together while we waited out being able to go outside again. And as one might expect, my dad wasn't very into the idea of playing Fortnite with me, even though I happened to be very good at it. So at the beginning of April, I started playing Dauntless again, and what got me very interested in the state of the game was escalations. I remember how in awe I was after completing my first 1 to 13 escalation, and I couldn't believe how cool this relatively new concept for the game was. This was just after Blaze Escalation released, so there were plenty of people I was able to grind it out with as well, and I was able to play the game not only with my dad, but my sister as well, since Dauntless allowed us to play on Xbox, PS4, and PC in the same party. As the month of April progressed, I was getting into the endgame content, where I first started doing Dauntless Trials. I was already doing speed runs for games like The Outer Worlds and Super Mario 64, so having a speedrunning focused content at the end of the game was a pretty cool concept to me. This usually involved only taking a couple of tries at it, then asking for somebody to carry me. Then came the Shroud Trial, where I knew would be a good time to go for top 100, as there would be plenty of people who just skipped over the trial since they didn't like fighting Shroud. As some of you know, it didn't take me too long to get the hang of it, and I ended up around 70th on the leaderboard after a few days. I made a couple videos before putting out one where I was explaining the mindset I had going into it, where I was speedrunning on lower level behemoths, but this was the first trials content that I put out and was optimistic about doing some more. So the next few weeks I did videos on doing some public trial carries. And then came the first Drask trial, where after day 1 I was still on the top 10 of the leaderboard. This was the sort of hope that I needed in order to grind out for a top 5 spot. Posting videos of my Drask trial runs was what I would say the true beginning of where people were able to find my YouTube channel in the Dauntless community. Even though it was only a few hundred views within the first couple of days of them being posted, it did at least attract a little bit of attention. They probably had to look pretty hard to find it, but that's the first time that a lot of people ended up hearing about me. After delving into a bit more trials and Umbrella Escalation related content, I wanted to visit a topic that I hadn't gone to before. Plenty of people in the Dauntless official Discord had questions and misconceptions about interrupting, particularly when it came to chain blades. Chain blades had changes to their interrupt abilities. Originally, you needed weighted strikes to be able to interrupt with the chain throws, but at some point, the ability to interrupt with the bladed attacks was added. What I noticed was that the main YouTubers like Zanny, Revy, and Odo hadn't made an all-inclusive updated interrupting guide including these changes, which was probably a source of some of the confusion. So I decided to pour some effort into making my own interrupt guide, and I wanted to go above and beyond. So I went through and interrupted every behemoth at the time with every weapon. The effort from this video definitely paid off, as it got just as popular within the first week of its life as the top 5 trial attempts I did. And this is one of the few almost linearly growing videos. Most videos experience a logarithmic growth pattern, with more at the beginning of its life and less down to almost nothing after a while. And only a couple of weeks later, for similar reasons as making the interrupt guide, I made the video on the best weapons, armors, and perks in Dauntless. I went through all of the weapons, perks, and armors and classified them based on whether they were heavily used, rarely used, or never used. This is the biggest video on the channel, and it's closing in on 50,000 views at this point. It's not like it started off particularly slow either. Within the first month, it somehow reached 13,000 views. And this video can even appear at the top of some Google searches if you have the right search search criteria. I think I will have to revisit this video once Frost Escalation comes out, as quite a bit of the information within it is now outdated. And then another little bit later, after I made this video, I made another video on why low HP builds are the best. The main reason for this video was people in the Dauntless Discord server, even people who were super late into the game, were asking for builds without discipline or low HP focus. So the video was meant to sort of explain why most builds are going to be centered around Rage and Wild Frenzy, and why even lesser experienced players can build for low HP with Iceborne. These were all in the month of July, and that's when the channel really picked up traction. By the first week of August, I had reached 1,000 subscribers. Between August and December, I somehow gained another 2,000 of you guys to come along for the ride. With just how fast I reached 1,000 subscribers in such a short amount of time, I thought that shooting for 3,000 by the end of the year may have been plausible. And as some of you know, a couple of weeks ago, I was added on for the Dauntless Partner program. I definitely did not expect this to happen, but I kept making videos with the optimism for such a seemingly outlandish goal. And I'm still very optimistic about the channel going forward. We're heading out of 2020 on a really high note, with the previous video being massive. The state of Reforged still has quite a bit of content I've yet to delve into. I'm also working on some rather large projects for the game and its weapons in general as well. I can't wait for what the next year of Dauntless has in store for me, and I hope you all are along for the ride. Big thank yous if you made it to the end of this video. I expect most people just left after the trial run, but I hope that most of you enjoyed this brain dump and reflection of what happened in the past few months. And I'm super thankful to the people of the Dauntless community who've shown so much love and support for the channel here on YouTube and on Twitch. Twitch is quite a bit smaller. We did just reach 1,000 followers over there though, but it's definitely been a crazy amount of support on that platform as well. Not really much of a reason to ask for a like and sub at this point, but if you did enjoy the video and or the trial run, consider leaving a like on the video. And if you're not subscribed already, consider subscribing to the channel. I make Dauntless content here every week. I've been Trevor, I go by TheMrTrails, and I'll catch you guys in 2021.